but you didn't need to know that. There it is. All right, welcome, welcome. I want to say thank you for showing up, and those of you who couldn't make it. I hope that you can enjoy this as much as we will here live. My name is Michelle Williams. I'm a Survey 123 Jedi, and what that means is I teach Survey 123. That's my passion. I've been doing that for 7 years. I started in Survey 123 when ArcGIS Pro was in beta. That's when I started. I was going through my master's program, and it was funny because every time I try to do a career change, I'm always in between something. So we were doing ArcMap and just learning Pro. Then I went to Southern California Edison and just dove into Survey 123, broke a lot of things, and decided at that moment that I wasn't going to let other people have that. I'm letting people in. I wasn't going to have people feel that way about things that were hard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just start over because then you guys can all hear me. Thank you for showing your face. I love that. Nice to meet you, Caroline.
Nice to meet you.
Everybody, welcome. If you want to turn your cameras on, I love to see your faces because then I feel like I'm in a real meeting instead of talking to myself. So I'm going to start over just real quick. So if anybody pops in, if you guys want to just admit them if you can, that'll help me stay on track. So welcome. I'm a Survey 123 Jedi, and what that means is that I teach people how to do what I do. So for the last 7 years, I've been doing Survey 123 and everything that goes with it. And I love live data. So just being able to get folks through the hardship of doing Survey 123, because I broke a lot of things. I walked around a lot of blocks after I broke things because I was learning Survey 123 and ArcGIS Pro at the same time because they were just getting into beta. I think you guys are all caught up. So what ends up happening is I broke things. I had no mentors whatsoever because I was diving in first. So there were a lot of us kind of struggling, trying to figure out how to get this to work. And when you do something over here, it breaks over here. And when you do something, and that's how it was, really hard to learn 2 different softwares, 2 different platforms all at the same time. So I decided I didn't want people to feel that way. So that's why I train people in Survey 123. As I've been doing that, I noticed that there's a lot of new people that are just new to GIS. And I don't want you to feel lost either. So what ends up happening is I can go in here and like for you guys, we're getting together. We're just trying to figure it out, you know. And so this is the first time I've done something like this for GIS in general. And so I want to figure it out and try and find out how to get this to flow better. And so with you guys being in the first cohort, we can work through it together. So welcome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of the things that were in the survey that folks were putting out, or I ended up sending out the survey. So what ended up happening is I have about 11 people who actually put it together. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about what their answers were. I'm not going to tell you who they were, but I'm going to just tell you what their answers are. And if you guys can admit those people, I'm going to just look at my screen and write and go forward and tell you what I've learned about you. I've learned that a lot of you are brand new to, to your careers, or just starting, need to get your first career, things like that. I do have one person who's 13 years into GIS, so that's really fantastic for us because that person does a different avenue of GIS than I do, so that they can help us answer questions for you. I'm talking fast. Too much coffee. I've already had office hours this morning. Just for some of you who do Survey 123, I have office hours on Fridays from 7 to 8. So I had 2 huge projects that came in. So we're going to try and figure those out. So I've already had my coffee. It's already going through my brain. But here's some of the answers to some of the questions from this cohort that you're going to be able to see. And if you didn't do the survey, I'm going to post a link. I'm going to write myself a note. I'm going to post a link because it takes you a little while to do it, and I want you to think about it. I want you to have time to think about it, because what's going to happen is we may take this, you know, every 6 months, you might go back in there and kind of watch your path. And I want you to be able to see your growth. And at any time, if you ever want all your pieces, if you've put your name in where I said, add your name if you dare, I can filter all those and send all your answers to you. But it's going to be fun. So what does mentorship look like for you? These are some of the answers. Working with somebody successful that enjoys their job and what they do, the industry. And then getting directions, resources, connections, and support in achieving your goals. Sharing experience, skills, pathways to sustainable success. Checking in, advising for pathways, encourage, and a cheerleader. I like that. I can totally be your cheerleader. A relationship that the recipient evolves through mentorship and then pays it forward. I love that one because that's so important, is being able to share what you learn with somebody else. And then being able to think out loud in front of your mentor. And you don't have the fear of needing to impress somebody. I like that too, because this is a place where everybody can grow. And as long as we're encouraging each other, this is going to be a great place for you. And this one also says, and the mentee should give back. A safe place to ask questions. Another one about following an experienced person. And then guidance and suggestions regarding the profession. Does anybody have anything else to add to that? What a mentorship would look like to you if you weren't able to answer our survey? All right, I'm gonna keep going. Some of the things that were coming up were not here in specific, but I'm going to admit this person. I don't know if you guys can do that. You ladies too. I should say you all. That would be good. Then I can include you all. Welcome. What I'm going to do is I noticed that with some of these answers, not those specifically, but with some of the answers, there were a lot of, I'm new to the field, I feel like imposter syndrome in one of the other questions. So I want to quickly just give you some information on all of that. I'm going to show you a book. This is called The Big Leap. This is a great book, and I've read it twice. Anytime I'm feeling imposter syndrome, and let me tell you, it doesn't go away, because every level that you go to, you're going to feel that way. So, and I'll share a story with you. But I want to tell you how I use this one, because this is amazing. I've gone through it twice with imposter syndrome. And every time that I go through it, I write the really cool page numbers and my notes right here, because I'm always reading different books. This is just one of them, depending on whatever season of my career I'm in. Right now, I'm getting ready to go to my next level. So I do a lot of mindset reading. But have your favorite pens. I like gel pens. I get the package with like 20 in it, and they've all got different colors. Because being able to do something like this helps your mind. And some of us are visual, some of us are audio learners, just there's all those different avenues. My son likes to buy a book online or a audiobook, and then he buys the hard copy, because as he's reading, he can do both. He can see it and he can hear it. So I think I might do that too, because that's a good thing to do. But I like the hard copies because I like the smell of them, old books and whatnot. I also get my books through cheap places, because most of the time people never read their books. They just donate them to some place. So I go to, I think it's called Thrift Books or something like that. And so I always get my books there, or somewhere inexpensive. But what this is, it's called The Big Leap. And it's gonna walk you through all those mindset issues that you have. You're not alone. Everybody has them. I'm gonna tell you a little story about what happened to me last year. I was on cloud 9, building a business, doing fantastic work. Nothing could, I flew around in a cape. My husband has a copy. Anytime I had a win, I flap my cape. And it's just metaphorically. I do have a cape, but I wanted to share with you what happened last year. So I was going through this, this awesome part of my life. I had a car accident in May. And so I was T-boned, and I was okay I was okay physically, but the airbag deployed, and it's like a shotgun going off near your ear. So I had a concussion. My doctor said, yeah, you might have, this is how it happened. My doctor said, yeah, you might have a concussion and it'll take you about 6 months to heal. That was all they gave me. I'm all, okay, well, it sounds like it's not a big deal. So I took a week off, kind of got myself back together, went back to work and found out all my analytical skills were gone. And I couldn't connect the dots anywhere. It was the scariest thing is like, my brain was like a snow globe, and a kid gets it and it shakes it all up. My brain was discombobulated. And so I felt like an imposter. I am still working through that, but I wanted to share with you. I read that first week that I knew that I was going to have issues, and I might go into depression because that's what happens when you have a car accident. And oh, somebody has a question, Sean.
I apologize. I was clicking some buttons, just kind of getting set up here. My bad.
That's okay.
You're fine.
That's okay. But what ends up happening is in every stage of your life, you're going to figure it out that you need to adjust and things like that. Luckily for me, I had trained a team for the year before on Survey 1, 2, 3, and I knew that I had people I could count on. And so being able to work with that mental part, I had a really good boss. We talked through it, and he put me on repetitive tasks for the last year. So other people were training me how to redo GIS because I couldn't figure it out. I had my how-to documents had to be dialed in to the nth degree. And so now when I do these how-to documents, I'm thinking to myself, okay, for a new person in GIS, this would be really good for them because, and all of you, being able to see those steps and do them repetitively, you're going to figure things out like, oh, I didn't realize if I did this, it also affects this. Or if I rename my map in ArcGIS Pro, when I save the PDF, that's what the name of the file is going to be. I had no idea, and so just doing these repetitive things, it really brought it brought me back into, I can do this, I can figure this out. Right now, I started retraining live Survey 1, 2, 3s, and I'm noticing that my brain is better. But I used to be really good at on-the-fly questions. Somebody could ask me and I could go look at it or whatever and figure it out. I'm not quite there yet. So now I have to say, let me look that up for you. Like some of your professors may say that if you ask them things. I used to be really good. I'm still working on it. But I'm at that point where I can do things now. I just have to kind of augment where I am. So where you are and what you are in your career right now, I also feel that. So starting this cohort is really kind of cool for me because I can help you through some of this because I'm also going through it. The big leap, there's that. The second thing I want to do for you is a lot of you were saying that you're doing your job prep. So I have a life hack LinkedIn video that I did. It's a classic. I did it like a few years ago, but it's still good. And it's so good. I don't want to record it because I might miss something. And it was really good the first time. I must have been on fire or something. It was great. So I'm going to send that to you. And then some of you are new to ArcGIS Pro. So I'm going to send you, the University of Redlands did a MOOC. It's my favorite book. In fact, I should have brought it over, but mine has flags in it and things like that. Well, they made it digital. So, and it's reflecting the current version of ArcGIS Pro. So I'm going to give you the link to that for anybody who wants to do that. And then while we're meeting, if you have questions on any of that, we can go through it. I know that this is just our first little meetup, but I wanted to kind of get to know who you are. If we could do maybe a little introduction so that people can see your faces and kind of hear your voice and get to know you just a little bit. You know, tell us where you are in your career. I have a spreadsheet that tells me that if you did the survey, but tell us where you are in your career. Tell us your superpower if you have one. It doesn't have to be GIS related. It could be, you know, that you're a great mom or you're a great dad or whatever that is. Let us know if you have a skill that you could share with us, because this community is really good for being able to foster other skills, not just things I can teach you, but maybe those are the 3 things that we look for. So if you want, I'm going to tell you who's on my screen. And kind of as I'll tell you who's first, second, third, and then just as popcorn, as soon as one's done, just go to the next one. So I have Caroline first. I have Miri, is that how I say your name? Myra, Myar. Do you see me? But I'm going to try and figure out your names. Oh, you can't hear me. You can't talk. I can't hear you. That's okay. I'm going to write your names down. I'm going to say, well, if I can't hear you, then I can't hear you when you do your introduction. So we'll see if we can get your mic fixed.
Oh, can you hear me now? Oh,
yes.
Perfect. Okay.
How do I say your name?
It's me here, like I'm here, like me here.
I love that. Me here. My here. Very good. Thank you so much. And then Sean and Julie. And then we're going to go to, is it Ali or Ali? Ali. Probably. And then Diana. And then your V. I hope that I said that right. So if we can just kind of do an introduction for everybody, and I'll follow along. Okay, Caroline, you're going to be first.
Hi, I'm Caroline. Yeah, I'm pretty new to GIS. You might hear my cat in the background. She's eating. But, anyway, yeah, so I got my degree in geography back in 2010, actually. And then after that, I didn't really know what to do with my degree, I guess. So I went right into like family business, helping my dad with a dog grooming business, basically, and did that for a number of years because it was working out pretty well. But over time, I guess I was feeling like I, wanted to do something that was more in line with my interests and my geography background. So I was thinking that, I had been kind of looking into, pretty much many different career paths, actually. And I was like, what do I really want to do? So I took some time to really figure that out. And I looked into GIS with my geography background and thought it would be a really interesting career path. So anyway, I'm taking classes at ACC again, or my community college, and in GIS, and looking for my first job in the industry right now. So, and then as far as superpowers, I think I mentioned to them, Michelle, to you, and I was looking back at that, and I think I said my genuine interest in others, along with my smile and sense of humor. That's basically what I said. So
I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, and you have a win. You
Oh, yes.
Tell us about your win.
Well, I have a couple of interviews for for a tech position and an analyst position right now. So we'll see how that goes, because they're all like very close to each other, and I'm working a full-time job and and taking class at the same time. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Yeah, we talked offline, so I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, next.
Am I up next?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for putting this together, and hi, everyone. So my name is Mihir. I am doing my master's here at Arizona State University. I did my undergrad, go Sun Devils. I did my undergrad in architecture, and then that's where I kind of got started with GIS. I was exposed to kind of like programming during my high school, and then I thought I'd really get into computer science, but then I went another way because I wanted to be involved in um, you know more equity, solving equity issues, and then having problem. I mean, solving social issues and stuff like that. And then from there, I knew that architecture was very like building focused, and then I wanted to do something on a broader scale, and that got me to urban planning. And during my architecture, I did experiment with QGIS because that was the free version that time. I didn't have a license. So I did get used to like how to work with shape files and stuff like that. But I didn't have really any guidance at that point. So it was mostly like self-taught from YouTube and stuff like that. And then coming into urban planning, I did get a good leg up learning ArcGIS, and then I had to learn ArcGIS Pro and stuff like that. And now that I'm going to be starting as an urban planner in the transit industry, I do see GIS being used a lot. For road planning. We recently used Survey 123 for like comments and stuff like that. So uh, I see a lot of uses and potentially like upskilling myself. So that's where I am right now. I'm looking forward to like use my past experience to kind of merge all of them together, and then maybe automate some stuff. Use my skills to do some data analysis and help in that way. And I think that I told you was the pain point because I can do like basic stuff that are manual, but then when it comes to automation and kind of like merging all of those together, that's where I'm like hitting a roadblock because there's not much guidance in that, especially with the teams where I work at. It's not common. Um, Definitely, like the book that you just suggested, the imposter syndrome. I guess more or less everyone has that, but I wanted to stress that. Okay, I overthink a lot, so that is going to be really helpful for me. Superpower, kind of like what I told earlier. Like I like to learn things on my own. I do like I'm thinking all the time, so even when I'm sleeping, I'm like, okay, I should do this tomorrow morning, and then okay, I'm going to learn this and learn that and learn this, and then merge. Okay, I know this, but I know that too, so I'm going to merge this and then bring this product out together. So that's what I would say my superpower is, and I'm excited to meet everyone else here. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, next. Do we remember who's next? Okay, Sean, can you go for next?
Sure. So my name is Sean Arnold. My background in geography, at least, I got a geography degree with a GIS certificate at ASU in 2014. I did not use it. I looked for jobs for a couple months and decided I'm out of money and I need to fall back on my secondary career, which was IT. I had an IT background before I went to college through the Coast Guard, and I've been doing IT pretty much ever since. I started out as a technician, moved my way up, and I was a service desk manager for a little bit. Got a little burnt out. My wife and I, we just moved to out of the city to a smaller town in Arizona, Payson, and because I like a smaller town. I like being a little more rural in the mountains. Yeah, I had been remote for a few years. My wife was remote, and we decided that this was a good time for me to try to pursue a different career again. You know, I like to think that I'm really good at IT, probably I could get a job in IT, we'll put it that way. But I left my job in December after my 4th or 5th ransomware attack, having to manage that. If you've never dealt with that, it's a, wow, it's an intense thing. I worked for, if you guys know what a managed service provider is, basically it's outsourced IT, right? So your company might be too small or don't want to pay for internal IT, so you outsource it to a company. So you get all sorts, right? You get people who are nice, who are like, I really need help, and you get people who, you know, say that you're as bad as the hackers because you want them to pay for a remediation that they weren't paying for before because, well, they got hacked. And yeah, it's rough. So anyway, so that's kind of my background. Superpower, yeah, I'm pretty normal. I don't think I have anything. I mean, to some of you, maybe computers and IT skills is superpower. I don't have computer problems. I guess I just fix it. But yeah, as far as what I'm trying to get out of this is, I've had a couple interviews for GIS jobs now. They're pretty sporadic. Yeah, I have a real problem with recruiters apparently, because, you know, they come, they call me, they say, hey, I'm really interested in you. You got a really interesting background, and then they fall off the face of the planet and they never contact you again. So I'm not really sure why they're even doing that in the first place, but that's okay. So yeah, I mean, really for me, it's more about getting the foot in the door. And I'm open to anything GIS. Like, I don't care if I'm data processing, if I'm doing some sort of admin work. You know, at this point, I mean, just supporting, like being application support for GIS software wouldn't be too bad, because, you know, I guess I'd be utilizing both skills to some degree. Ideally, you know, my passion is really the, I guess, cartographic bit to GIS. I like it, analysis. I mean, I'm in IT. I do analysis every day. I fix things. I solve problems. That's fine. But displaying that in a way that someone who has no idea what you're doing is, and having them agree with you, I think is the persuasive element that I'm interested in. So, and from what I've heard, GIS people do a really, really bad job at displaying what they can and can't do, and their abilities. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you know, I keep getting beat out by people who just have a little bit more experience, and I see a lot of jobs that are like, hey, this is entry level, we'd like you to have 8 years experience. And
Yes.
you know, I don't know how to combat that. I still apply, but you know, you're sticking yourself in the void even with a cover letter. And yeah, so for me, a mentorship, because obviously you had a mentor. I had a mentor in IT. So when you switch from being a tech to a manager, I don't know if any of you guys have ever made a switch to management position, but it's 100% different. It's a different job. Your skills when you weren't a manager aren't applicable anymore. Like, you know what they're supposed to be doing and how to do it, but that doesn't mean you can manage people. And so I had a manager who, when I made that transition, really took me under his wing, and that helped me, because anytime I didn't know how to do something, I would just go to him. We'd sit in his office for like an hour discussing the problem, discussing what I could or couldn't do, and all the options. So it wasn't like a, hey, this is how you handle this one thing. It was much more, well, what do you think you should do? Okay, well, let's take that avenue. And so for me, a mentor is somebody who's going to kind of groom you into a person that, you know, can do the job. You may not be able to do it at the start, but that's okay. You know, they're there to kind of take on some of that load for you, to get you through those things. So that's kind of why I, you know, jumped at this opportunity to see if there was an option to have a little bit of that grooming, I guess.
I like that. That's a really great way to say that. So I'm hearing a lot of things and I'm loving it. Some of the things that I wanted to share with you is I didn't have a mentor for Survey 1, 2, 3 because I was learning at the ground floor. But in my previous career, I had a really good mentor. I went into drafting right after high school. And I had a really good mentor because I was supposed to be managing people. And I'd never, like you said, Sean, I'd never been able to do that before. So he was good at teaching me what I needed to do. So I wanted to do everything and figure everything out and then be able to pass it on. But I didn't know how to pass it on. So I remember one time I was doing some document control and I was figuring out the filing system and getting that all situated. I had figured it out and then I left a pile of stuff that still needed to be done. And my boss goes, "Hey, Michelle, what's going on here?" And I go, "Oh, I figured out how I want to do it. I just don't have any time to get to the rest of it." And he goes, "If you figured it out, pass it on. Get those girls out there, whatever, have them do it." And I go, "Oh, that makes perfect sense." But he taught me a lot of mindset also. So I hope that I can pass on some of that to you folks because this is a good place for everybody. Thank you. I'm so excited. All right, I think Julie's next.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry if you hear the trash in the background. It decided to come as soon as it's my turn. But I'm Julie. I did my undergrad at CSU Long Beach in environmental science and policy with a minor in biology. I took one GIS and one remote sensing class in my undergrad, but kind of by that time I felt like it was a little too late. So I went more the environmental consulting route. So that's what I'm currently doing full time. But since I took those classes, I just was still really interested in GIS and kind of remote sensing in particular. So I decided after I graduated, I was gonna go kind of sort of straight into a master's. So I'm currently doing a master's in GIS again at CSU Long Beach, actually with Michelle's husband, Bruce.
That's right.
Who I didn't know they were married until after I recommended this to Bruce. But yeah, so where I'm kind of at right now is sort of trying to transition career fields. I do kind of use GIS in my daily work life, but not really to the degree that I would like to. And in particular, I am really interested in remote sensing, which I don't really have an opportunity to use in my current job. So yeah, so I'm at this point, I'm kind of a sponge. I'm willing, kind of want to learn all different skills and build my talent stack, since I kind of feel like I have a set of skills sort of unrelated to GIS. But through my master's and work, I've luckily been able to pick up some more of those skills. And then I didn't really have a cool superpower, so I guess what I told Michelle was that I'm really good at tripping over flat surfaces or spilling anything. So I'm very clumsy. So I guess that's my not cool superpower.
I told her she should, bye Caroline. I told her she should find a job at a bad guy's facility, and then she could go just drop her coffee on the mainframe. I don't know who a bad guy would be, but you know what I mean. All right, let's see who's next. Urvi, is that how I say your name? UV.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, it's Urvi.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So my story is similar to a little bit of Mihir. I'm an architect, urban planner. And despite I have 8 years of experience in both the field, like combinedly, I have worked with an organization here in India. So basically during my urban planning masters, I did work on GIS platforms. And professionally also I have worked with firm with physical planning, town planning schemes, and it's very popular model of doing urbanization here in India, especially in Gujarat. So yeah, I've been working with urban planning and GIS software there. Recently, I've lost touch because I changed and shift the jobs in Big Four, and they don't work mostly on physical planning like E&Y, PwC firm kind of. So I've lost touch of the softwares. And currently, I'm in my career break since 1 year. And now what I want to do is again going to in the career, I want to be a little bit specific, because in last my experience, you are not an expert of anything, but you do everything. So people call you for every small and big job, whether it's analysis or report writing or doing documentation or all kind of work. So now I want to be a little bit specific, where I do my own thing. Like if any one work is there, like for GIS analyst, Urvi is the first name you heard from anyone. So that kind of work I am planning to do. I got my interest in GIS field while working in the professional field, and you don't remember where the time goes off, and that's how I find my interest. Otherwise, I keep on seeing the watch, or when this work will get over. But while working on GIS or any software skills, I don't find I get into it, dive in and work nicely. And that's my interest. So I want to do a job where my interest lies. I love to do that job. Here people surrounds me keeps on saying you won't find that kind of job where you love your job and you get money also. So that's the thing where people says here, but I want to break it off and I want to go deep dive into it. So the pain point here with me is I could not find the right identification where to go into this field, from where to start and how to go deep, because there is various fields in GIS also. So it's vast opportunity. I want to find a good opportunity also where I can be longer in this field. Like it's not 1 year or 2 year job. I want to be longer here. So that's where I'm the phase is. And you call superpower. So I'm a very good observer and listener. Like people come to me and say their stories, and I keep on listening, being a support system of someone to guide in any field. That's my superpower. Emotional attachments with people and peers. Yeah. That's it.
It's nice
Hello,
to meet
everyone.
you.
Yeah.
Very
Little
good.
bit late. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. How about Albert? All right, there we are. Hi, Albert. I can't hear you yet. You might be on mute.
I didn't check.
Yes, I can hear you
Hello,
now.
hello.
Thank
Can
you.
you hear me now? Okay, so my name is Albert Opareje, and I just graduated with a degree from geography, and I want to emphasize on, or I want to specialize in GIS and remote sensing. So that has been my thought for now. And currently, I'm actually doing a 1 year service with remote sensing and GIS laboratory in the University of Ghana. So that's where I'm learning most of the things I am doing right now. So I'm actually in charge of assisting students, both for now, both the undergrad and the MSc students in GIS analysis or any project they want to do in GIS. And I'm also tutoring them during their lab sessions and practicals. So yeah, I think that's the step for me for now. And I believe this mentoring program is just going to guide me towards, let's say, towards my aim. I have a lot of things I want to do. I think this mentorship is going to put me on my toes, since yeah, it's very tedious. It's a full-time thing. So I go in the morning, I come back in the evening. But I believe when there's schedule and things attached to it, I'll be able to meet my goals and stuff. Yeah, and my superpower, I think, should be related to analysis. I love spatial analysis so much. Like I don't, but that's all what I know. Like now, I'm not trying to learn a little bit of programming and add it to it, but spatial analysis is what I've loved so far in doing GIS, and that's what I do well at. Yeah. So thank you. And nice meeting
Thank you.
too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure if we've gotten everybody. I know a couple people dropped off, but anybody else out there that we didn't catch? All right. That's exciting. Thank you all for everything. I know that I have a couple links I'm going to send you out. Would you like to get together next week also, just to kind of hammer out what this is going to look like? Maybe figure out, I know there's a lot of job training that we want to do. I can start on that one next week and just kind of figure out we'll kind of figure out what that flow is going to look like. But that sounds like the most immediate need right now. So if you want, we'll figure that out. I'll have you at least watch that life hack LinkedIn video, because that's going to help you get through figuring out, how do you set up your resume? How do you talk to somebody when you actually have an interview? How do you get that first interview? It took me a long time. Yes, Sean, how can I help you? You have an answer.
Yeah. So since you're talking about resumes and stuff, I have seen more resumes and conducted more interviews myself in IT, being a manager, than I can count. But looking at an IT resume and setting that up is different, I think, than other fields. And part of this for me is having someone in GIS, because I don't really know anybody else in GIS or any adjacent field. I would love for you to maybe just look it over, see what you think, suggest changes. I'm open to that stuff. I'm pretty sure everyone else here would love that. And I know reviewing resumes is not the most fun thing. I apologize. But yeah, if that's something that maybe, in addition to hey, I'm going to bring this to the next time, after we've looked over some of your material, if that's something I could do, just send over my resume, to just have you do it once over on it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe what we can do is when that happens, maybe we throw it in the chat, or we can put a Dropbox together and have everybody put theirs in, and we can all look at them together, so that it's not just me looking at it, because having other people's point of views, that would be a great place to be.
Cool.
So, okay. Well, what I'm going to do is, if I don't have your email address and you want a calendar invite, you can put your email in the chat. I know a lot of people dropped off, so I'm going to also add this into LinkedIn and figure that out. We're gonna figure this out all together. I'm so excited. All right, is that how I say it?
It's fine. Me here.
I'm gonna have to get that. Thank you.
You'll get that. It's fine. So I just wanted to clarify, are we making the group on LinkedIn or Facebook? If we want to coordinate or connect with others,
I'm thinking about Facebook, because it's easier. Having a group in LinkedIn, I haven't figured that out yet. Do you know how to do that?
I've done some groups, we just add everyone in the chat, as you keep typing. For example, if I'm messaging you, and then I just put a comma and then put Sean's name, and then make that group over there. But I guess you're right. LinkedIn has limited group support capabilities, so Facebook might be a better option.
Okay. So what I'll do is I will send out the email. I'll put some information on LinkedIn for people who didn't give me their email address. But being able to, I think I'll put a Facebook group together. Anybody who doesn't have Facebook and you need some help, let me know. I think only one person said they didn't have a Facebook account. So we'll do that, and we'll kind of go forward. All right, I'm excited. I'll see you guys next Friday, I guess, and we'll kind of keep going and see what that looks like. Welcome.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.